Welcome everybody to a special edition of Bulldog Sports. I'm Mark Evans. With me today I have two coaches that were inducted into the Macomb County Coaches Hall of Fame, and that is Mike Simons and Tim Probst. Gentlemen, thank you and welcome to the show.
Thanks.
All right, we're just going to ask you a couple questions. First one I wanted to know was, how did you guys feel when you first got elected in and you heard about all this, and what was your feelings about that?
I had a number of feelings. It went something like this. I read the letter that I got in the mail, and I was thrilled, I was elated, and I was honored. And as I thought about that stuff, what that really related to was I was thrilled, elated, and honored, more so because of the group of people I was joining in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
It's just filled with super coaches and super individuals. I've already made a comment once before to one of the papers that I can't think of a better fraternity to join. And I had been to a number of induction ceremonies over the years, and as I watched those take place, I was just awed by the people being inducted and the guys going in.
One of them was Bob Lancey from
Yep.
Eisenhower football
Lancey.
coach.
Yep.
There was from Cusno or Warren. The other coaches.
Well, there was 12 of us.
12 of you. Okay.
And it was a combination of just about every sport was represented. There was wrestling coaches, there were track coaches, there were football coaches. Bob Winkler, I think it was.
Okay.
From Mount Clemens.
From Mount Clemens, yeah.
Okay, and Tim, same question. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I can't improve on much on what Mike has said. But for instance, one of my old high school coaches, Al Drath, had gone into the hall, and to be in with people like him was pretty
awesome.
cool. And then Mike mentions this Bob Winkler. Bob Winkler got me involved in distance running and marathoning, and to go in the same year as he went in was kind of cool. And also Mike and I worked together in boys track for, I don't know what, 15 years, something
Maybe
like
even
that.
20. Maybe
Okay.
20. I think we lost track of time.
So it was nice.
track of
Yeah,
time.
nice
Yeah.
we went in. And
Years
also
go by fast.
and also I think I felt some gratitude to Greg Breinert for thinking enough of of what I've done to want to submit my name.
Okay, how long have you guys been coaching?
If I could add to that too,
Oh, go ahead.
just for a second. Tim mentioned coaches, past coaches, and I was at the first induction ceremony where they honored my high school head coach. And I just remember sitting there thinking, this guy was absolutely magical, and man, does he deserve to be in this thing.
Yeah.
But I remember that. And as Tim says, this has been just a pleasure going in together, because we had coached so long together.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been coaching?
Well, I'm sure if we go back and check it, we probably coached literally together at least 20 years.
Okay, how did you guys get into coaching, Tim? Started, I guess, with you.
They had hired Romeo had hired me in as a wrestling coach out of Wayne State my first year, and then from there it went to junior high track and junior high football, and then track and cross country.
Okay, and
I started in 1971 as an 8th grade football coach.
Okay.
And did that for a year, and then for the next 2 years was the head 8th grade football coach. After that, moved to the varsity staff. I was on the varsity staff from about 73 to 82, varsity football. Did some bowling coaching. I still am doing bowling coaching from 97 to the present.
Okay.
And then the track team, I was an assistant coach for 1 year. That would have been 73, 74, and then took over in 05, and was the head coach for 33 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive. Well, congratulations to both. What was your favorite event to coach or to watch?
When you talk about favorite events, one reason why you like track and you love track is because all the events are so different.
Right.
You're asking kids to perform at a whole lot of different combinations of things. How fast are you? How much stamina do you have? How high can you jump? How far can you throw? And so on and so forth. So it's very difficult to come up with a favorite.
Okay.
But I'd have to say, how can my favorites not be what I do? And I tend to be in the field events pretty much, and the sprints. So I've done sprints, sprint relays, and my thing has been for the last 10, 12 years pretty heavily into the field events, especially the throws, the shot and the discus.
Okay. Tim, any particular favorites?
Well, cross country, everybody does the same thing. You run for 3.1 miles, and you know, the sheer you know, demands, you know, put on a body over that period of time and distances is always fun to watch. And also I think in track, the mile, because it's, again, it's
grueling.
Yeah, it's just grueling. It's a it's a 4-lap sprint, you know.
I was going to say earlier, maybe you and Bull can do a little wrestling match here. Bull looks pretty fit over there, the cameraman.
Probably more fit than I am, so
yeah,
I
have to pass on that. Was there any particular seasons that stuck out in your minds as better than others or special?
Well, I wouldn't even use the terminology better than others.
Okay.
Because you know, when you go back over that number of years, if I mention one or two, I'm going to have kids from other years saying, "What happened to us?" Because there were a lot of great years. There really were. If you're going to put it where what stands out, I can answer it that way and say, okay, 1985 has to stand out for me personally as just a great year, because not only did we win the conference championship that year, went undefeated, but we won a regional championship that year. And at the same time, same place, and this doesn't happen very often, the girls also won a regional championship.
Right.
So it was a double regional win for us. And I look back on that as being pretty special.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah. In 1999 and then again in 2000, both our boys and girls cross-country teams were undefeated. So we had a string of 32 wins and 0 losses.
Wow.
But in that same period in 1999, the Detroit News has a area squad.
Yep.
And out of 11 kids, 3 of our girls got picked.
Excellent.
Those same 3 kids were all state. That's 3 out of 30. Teresa Bongiovanni the following spring won the state mile. She ran like just a little over 5 minutes flat. So that was kind of the peak. But in 1992, Chris Hanks, one of our great distance runners, and Julie Pelagio, both won the mile and the 2 mile down at Grosse Pointe South. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And winning both the 1 and the 2, they were both named MVP of that meet, which was kind of nice. And then I think the next year, this Chris Hanks and Jeff Nitterhouse were all state. Again, that's 2 kids out of 30. So those are high points. And Mark, if I can, sure. going back to this 1999 and 2000 season, I had help from 2 really invaluable people. One of them lives here in Romeo. This is Marianne Srock, who was an assistant principal at Powell Junior High.
Right.
The kids used to call her Psycho Mom. I mean, she would run with the kids, just harangue them, but also, you know, encourage them and hug them and
sure.
this and that. And a young guy who was from the St. Clair Shores area, but now has gone on to Utica, this Bob Busquart. Bob is a near world-class runner and was just invaluable. I mean, it's one thing to talk, but Bob could walk the walk. He'd just, you know, run right with the kids, and, you know, he was
wow.
a big asset. Yeah, I didn't want to, you know, forget those people.
Okay.
So,
can I just add to what
Absolutely.
Tim is talking about, people who run with kids, and I can't let this go. I have to throw
Okay.
this in. There's a lot of reasons why I look up to Tim, and I mentioned before.
I have to look up to Tim too.
not too much.
A lot of people.
And I feel so good about being inducted with him at the same time. Outstanding person, great coach. However, let me just point out one thing, because he was talking about running with kids. He was a tremendous motivator to me for years and years when we coached together, when we were on the track team together, working together. He was pretty much responsible for our distance people, and he did a great job with our distance people. What amazed me was that here he is, Tim Probst, with his bad knees, and I do mean bad knees. You mind me saying that? You had bad knees. They were bad. They not only look bad, but you walk bad. But here he is with bad knees. Out running the roads with his distance kids. And sometimes they hurt more than others, and sometimes his run kind of looked like a heel walk kind of a thing, and his hips were going crazy. And I watched it, and I was in pain, but it was a tremendous motivator.
Yeah.
Because I think kids looked at that and said, man, if this guy can get out here and run, I need to run.
Yeah.
If this guy can do 6, I can do 6, and so on and so forth. And